Donnelly seems to think they have it all wrapped up. Brown and Green are sweating this Manley character. I heard it'll be in front of a grand jury by next week.
Poor thing. Terrible enough being murdered like that without having to...
You're a goddamn menace!
Continue to respond, Ken.
Goddamn maniac! And at the next junction, you shut the trap.
Remember, we need him healthy enough to answer questions.
1247, Detective Phelps, requesting immediate backup in pursuit of a stolen green Kaiser Frazer from 6 West 2nd Street.
Lay into his wheel arches. Come on. Enough games, Phelps. Take this guy out. Lay into his wheel arches. Come on.
No wonder he killed someone, driving like this. Don't let that asshole get away.
All right, I give up. That's it. Cuff him and we're done.
I'm Super Antonio. And we're live. Greetings, friends. Happy Saturday. I hope you're enjoying your weekend. Welcome back to the Super LA Noire Live Commentary Part 3. Part 13 in Red Dead Redemption 2. Not really. Peter Walsdorf is here and says about to finish at the traffic desk and then on to homicide. Glad you're playing this game, Peter. It's a good game. It's a really good game. Regrettably, this is the second mission in
to clear. You know our orders.
in arson.
A building left standing
Cole
or
got
not on fire
demoted
in your
to
zone,
arson,
Cole. Is your
as you will
sector full
recall.
of Japs?
I don't know what happened to the file for the
captain
first
doesn't want anyone falling
mission, which is called the
Tell the
Gas
captain
Man.
we will
And we're going
join
to
him
do
when the
that.
job is done.
I'll do it this week, and we'll do it next week. So we're going to do a little bit
Just give
out
us
of
the
order.
word, Sarge. We'll take care
But,
of it. He should be
I'm
sectioned.
here.
That Jap lover's a fucking
Sadie's here.
liability.
She had
We're
her
here to kill
bath.
Japs, not our own people.
Star-crossed son of a bitch.
Got a new
No one
jacket
wants
on
to serve
for
under
you.
He's bad fucking luck.
I wanted a tweed jacket.
We've a
I
job
found
to
a
do
really
here.
nice one.
If I can live with it, you can too.
And I thought this was a really mid-century look for tonight. So note, I have the blue ascot and the blue pocket square, the sky blue pocket square. It's Italian design. This jacket is called it's by a designer called Brioni. Oh, also note, gold watch tonight. Seiko Flightmaster. Brioni, made in Italy. You know who wears Brioni? Our current president. And Gordon Gekko from Wall Street. Yeah, it's a very high-end brand.
Bad one. Release 4 Vicks.
And
Get out there and find
I have
out
to
what
say,
you
it
can.
looks great on me. I
Dress
really like
is
how I look. This was
650
tonight's
North Hobart.
dog walking outfit, and I tell you, clothes make a difference. I think I felt like $1 million. I feel I look like a millionaire. I may not have $1 million in the bank, and I may not have the most successful YouTube channel or even even a successful YouTube channel. I have to laugh so I do not cry. But I have a really pretty dog, and I look like $1 million. And I'm pretty happy about that. At any rate, this mission is interesting because it introduces Leyland Monroe, the big baddie of L.A. Noire, and he's played by John Noble, who you may recall was Denethor in Lord of the Rings. Gondor has no king. Gondor needs no king. And also, he was, I forget his name, but he was in Fringe.
I'm teasing
I
you.
loved him in Fringe. Fringe is one of my favorite TV shows. I got it on Blu-ray. What's that about? But I also have Lord of the Rings on Blu-ray. Lord of the Rings, as you know, is one of my favorite movie trilogies of all time, if not my favorite. She doesn't have fleas, she just has baths, she's fine, she's just itchy. I really wish she wouldn't scratch on screen. It's embarrassing. Raynav is here, and he got a new budgie. Well done, Raynav.
Want to bet? They'll have kicked the moonstall already.
You gotta settle down with all the death and destruction. And tonight we're talking about L.A. Noire. So, as far as trivia goes, Rancho Escondido can be seen intact prior to this case during the homicide and vice free roam modes, which we did not do. She likes having her ears played with. While many of the homes and buildings in the game's recreation of LA are finely detailed, it's interesting to note that the homes in Rancho Escondido appear less detailed, in keeping with the idea of them being poorly constructed. McKelty compares rousting Leyland Monroe to calling Nixon a criminal, a tongue-in-cheek reference to the Watergate scandal of 1972-74, which they wouldn't have known anything about. Nixon reached a national prominence as a U.S. representative from California in 1948. I didn't know he was from California. I suppose I should have known that. With his involvement in the House of Un-American Activities Committee. That's the McCarthy Committee. At that time, nobody thought he would become a controversial figure. While the ammo in Chapman's trunk is claimed to be 45 ACP rounds, the pistol he pulls out is a revolver. The issue is that 45 ACP rounds have a small rim and are difficult to extract from a revolver's cylinder, which is typically made for a larger round called a 45 long. Without moon clips, a type of speed reloading clip for revolvers. Also, the only commonly available revolver built to take 45 ACP rounds was the M1917, a substitute for the M1911 due to short supply, which does look arguably similar to the one Chapman removes from his jacket.
I hope you have strong stomachs.
The issue seems to have been corrected, at least on the PC version, as Chapman now pulls out an M1911.
Do you have a name?
Morelli, Mike. We recovered a picture of the family. Okay.
Hold on.
Anything
Let me
else?
take care of some business
Be honest,
here.
I just got here, Phelps. Best you talk to Lynch. He's the expert. Doesn't make any sense. Why aren't they scattered around like the rest of the debris?
I think they've been moved.
The Superior Laundry Chapman steps out of turns to be one of the locations of interest in the arson DLC case. Nicholson electroplating. That's also, yeah, that is, we're going to do that one. That's a really long one too. It's like 90 minutes long. Second to last that we shall do. If the player performs badly, McKelty will say, "What the hell kind of deaths do you think you're running here, Phelps? You think you can waltz around the city starting riots, harassing pillars of the community, and wantonly destroying the property of the LA Transit Authority? I don't care if you're not happy slumming in the squad. You either get yourself squared away or hand in your goddamn badge. You're on street duty until further notice. Get out of my sight." We did not perform badly. Spoiler alert. Peter Walsdorf says, "I was getting a special car and my partner was frozen in place. When I hit him, he walked like normal. I didn't know you were allowed to hit people in this game. Serena's here.
I have
Everybody
not.
say hi to
Show some
Serena.
respect.
Serena says, hi, Antonio. Sorry I haven't been here. I have been watching.
It's our
Not
boy.
feeling well, but I'm here.
He watches
And
the
hi,
fires.
everyone. I
think
miss
the
you
Sawyer
all.
fire went wrong.
So what about the guy we have in jail, Phelps?
We miss you too, Serena.
got
I
the
dressed
wrong
up
guy.
for you.
That
I
doesn't
didn't,
explain
but
why you ran into a burning
I'm going to say I did.
Why would make anyone do that?
Ah.
With a
Serena
fire
says hi to
for his
Peter.
mistake.
I'll bring
This
Sadie
guy wants
back.
to
She
burn
went
houses
to
and
her
families.
her
He
crate.
expects the houses
She had a
to be
bath. She's all
Trying
clean.
to redeem himself.
I wish you could pet her. She smells good and she's all soft.
You are one
She's a
very
soft
disturbed
girl.
individual, Phelps.
Say
I know
hi
you
to
had it rough
Serena
lately,
and
but
say
you
hi
should
to
start
Peter.
compartmentalize
Say hi
your
to everyone
thoughts.
in the chat
could
and tell
be
them to
right.
like and subscribe.
Can you come up with an alternative
you do
explanation?
that?
Sure, it's the same guy.
Then you can go back to
Are
bed.
you telling me that some son of a bitch murdered these people, the
I
whole
don't think she'll
family,
do it.
and arranged them here like Cupid dolls?
Might
But she
fit,
says
but
hi. She wants to
I
say
don't
hi.
think we could ever prove it.
At any
Very
rate,
little evidence.
this is the second mission.
Evidence?
We'll redo the first mission because it's a good one. It's
check
called
out
the
hot water
Gas
system.
Man.
Make sure we're dealing with the same MO.
All
Sure,
these
Phelps. I'll
missions
get back.
connect.
Leave the rest
It's
to us to hold.
interesting.
You better
Serena
flag
says,
up
hi,
some
Sadie.
dates.
Beautiful girl, missed you. Sadie missed you too, Serena. And we're glad you're here. I watched a movie that I'm going to do a review of that I
something
think you
finally
should
got to
see,
you.
Serena, that you would
You
love.
want
It's
my help,
called
pretty boy? You got it.
Smile
You keep
Part
riding me,
2.
and you won't be pretty much longer.
Though you will, I do feel
get
you need to
this
see
guy,
Smile Part 1. I want to get both of them. And
You think you've seen
fortunately,
everything,
they're
Phelps?
available as a
I was with
2-pack.
the 2nd Marines. at
But
Bella
yeah,
One.
if you can find
Things that
Smile
went on
Part
in
2
that
came out this
farmhouse.
year.
My own guys
And
on fire
I'm going to do a
screaming
review
for a
of
way
it
out.
because I liked it so much. Watched it twice.
Yeah,
But
nobody
I
cares,
highly
Scott.
recommend it.
There's gonna be no
And you'd
photos
like
and
it,
no
I think.
citations.
I know you'd like it.
We're gonna kill this miserable fuck. End of story. You
Serena says, I feel bad for these families. Poor things. Yeah, I know what you mean.
You remember the
They
list?
weren't supposed to be home.
Probably.
They want a prize,
sure?
a
Morelli's
free
were
vacation.
winners too. Their name
But,
was on that list.
I don't know. I think they gave it away for... it's been a while since I did this mission.
Work the neighbors, see what they know. I'll go across the street.
Serena says, oh, okay. Don't think I've heard of it, Smile. Yeah, you'll love it. Look it up.
I haven't done this.
Watch
for
the
years.
trailer on YouTube. But I'm going to do... the review I'm going to do is going to be a spoiler review because I want to talk about the ending. It has a lovely, wonderful twist ending. Absolutely horrifying. LAFD kind of
This is the
glitched for a
flashpoint.
minute.
The heater detonated with enough force to expose the foundations.
Tit. Stay here. Wait. Enjoy the stream. Can you do that?
Looks like the same model.
Insta-heat. Who's Reginald Varley? So basically, it's a land grab. You need all these houses to be destroyed so that they can build the interstate. Something like that. Got to talk to this joker.
LAPD. Can you tell me anything about the fire next door?
Terrible luck. Imagine after having won that weekend away.
What's your name, sir?
Foreman.
Dudley Foreman. It's a very mid-century name. I like that look. I need to get some of those shirts.
Did you see or hear
Those,
anything that might have...
Look, we were asleep when we heard the
It's not
explosion.
exactly a polo shirt, but it's got it's got the collar
You
and
didn't like
everything,
Morelli,
and two
did you?
buttons.
Some neighbors you get along with, some you don't. Guess they should have sold up.
What do you mean?
They're knocking down all these old houses and building a new subdivision for GIs. Morelli was being difficult.
You said someone is knocking these houses down?
Elysian Fields.
I'm
You
going to
must
miss
know.
this
The
game.
billboards,
And Cole
that
Phelps.
Monroe
We're
character
running around
beaming
the
down
corner.
at ya.
We're in the final
We've had an offer
stretch.
for the house.
Did the Morellis want to sell?
I don't know.
Serena says, Cole makes me laugh when he says
Whatever
LAPD.
you thought of Morelli, his whole family is dead.
Yeah, we only have
All this
5
or that,
more
I want you to help me, your
missions,
foreman.
counting a gas man, which
Morelli
we
was
skipped.
pig-headed. He built the house
And
himself.
I think
He
I'll
didn't wanna
double
sell.
up on him so I can get this done.
Stubborn
'cause
fool was ruining it for all of us.
I want to move on to a different game.
You said the Morellis had won a weekend away. To Catalina Island?
Yeah, that's
Serena
right.
says that guy looked
First thing I
familiar. He
thought I
did
fixed
movies.
motion was, thank goodness they
Leyland
were away.
Monroe
Then I
is
find out they
your
were still
countryman
in.
Joan
Who was running the
John
competition?
Noble, Serena, from Lord of the Rings and Fringe. I think he's
Enter
Australian.
yourself?
I'd already
Let's look
agreed
him
to
up.
sell. The competition was an
John
incentive
Noble.
for those who were still thinking about
Yes, he's Australian. He was born in Port Pine, Australia. Do you know where that is? And he lives in Sydney. Dr. Walter Bishop. That
did you
is
get my
what
number,
that was
Ira?
his name in
At first,
Fringe.
I didn't understand you,
I knew that name.
but now I do.
I should
I'd like
know
you
it
to
just
come
because
back
I
to the
love that.
clinic.
I
I'm
love that
helping
show.
other people now, Doctor.
I think you are confused. You haven't been to the clinic for weeks.
I forgot
I'm
season
not
3 of
confused anymore,
Reacher.
Doctor.
I'm all caught up.
I'm helping
I
people
mean, there's
be
like
together.
4 more episodes left, and they only release them on every Thursday. So that was kind of annoying. Mama One and Papa One are here. Everyone say hi to Mama One and Papa One. Greetings, Mama One. It's a casual Saturday.
Oh, the fires are only beginning, Doctor.
Got my new tweed jacket
After
on.
the fires, everything
Note
will be
the
beautiful and clean.
note the sky blue pocket square, the sky blue ascot.
I can see
Very
my
mid-century
purpose now,
look.
Doctor.
But
And
I
you
love how I
helped
look in
me
it.
find
I do. I really do. I'm gonna wear this. This is going to become a dog walking outfit. And Serena says, "No, I don't know where that is. I know Sydney, Port Pine, Australia." Well, that's where John Noble was born. Serena says, "Hi, Papa One and Mama One," and Mama One says, "Hey, Serena." Okay, now what? Got some clues. We got some cigarette butts and a
Someone was keeping watch.
Calderon.
Looks like they were here for quite a while. Brand looks distinctive.
The brand looks distinctive. Note they're
Whoever he
unfiltered,
was, he was
Papa
wearing
One.
Boondockers. I would know that imprint anywhere.
But I think all cigarettes were unfiltered in 1948. I don't think they cared. I don't think LAFD would have left that fire hose uncoiled there if the fire's out. I don't know about protocol, but they already started investigating. I think they would have like rolled that up and gotten out of the area.
Did you see anyone hanging
Suspicious
around the Morelli's home
activities.
prior to the
Did you
explosion?
see anyone?
Nope. Can't say as I was looking out, though.
You sure, Mr. Foreman?
Mama One says, "Beautiful
There are
jacket,
signs of someone hanging
Superantonio."
around over there by the fence.
Hey, now that you come
Yes,
to
I'm very
think of
pleased with
there
it.
was a guy.
It's a
Kinda tall, skinny though.
it is an Italian
else?
jacket
Orange lumber
made in
jacket,
Italy by a
beat up
designer
hat
called
and no
Brioni.
hair.
And do you know?
I thought he
I
was the
said
best
earlier,
exterminator
perhaps you
guy
weren't
was
here.
working around here the last
Do you
few
know
days.
who
But
wears
that guy had
Brioni
hair.
suits? Our
Thanks for your time,
current
Mr. Foreman.
president.
Sure. Hey, if you're
And also
interested,
Gordon
I have
Gekko
one of those
from Wall
competition
Street.
flyers in the kitchen.
Very
I can get
popular
it for you if you like.
brand
That
with
would be great.
with Masters of the Universe.
Any luck, Cole?
Papa One says non-filtered cigarettes are a real man's cigarette. Smoke them
Japanese
down
call it
until you're
origami.
burning your
Can I take a look?
hand. We used to, as kids, bet on who could smoke one the lowest and keep
Hypocrite.
and hold on to it. Ha ha.
There's a legend about them. You fold 1,000 of these and you get a wish.
We played a similar game called Battery Roulette,
Hey, don't break it.
and I'll tell you about it
Not.
because it's
I'm
it's
folding
similar and very
Looks like a
stupid
waybill or a
and
flyer.
nothing like it's but where we
For
me
Elysian
and my
Fields
set of
developments.
friends, we'd take our phones and we'd text each other our battery percentages, and whoever had the lowest would win.
Oh,
It's like, and
I see you already have.
around 10, under 10%, you start getting tense, especially if you're not home. But yeah,
When did the
I would
flyer
never
arrive
win.
in your mailbox?
They've been arriving for weeks. This one was in the
There were
mailbox when I
there
got
was
home from work
some
yesterday
girls I knew
afternoon.
that got really stubborn, and they'd get down to like 5 and 4 and 3%. But Yeah. So we do battery wars. You have to like text what you were at, and then so someone would text like 10%, and then everyone else in the circle would have to text back what they're at. And then you had to text when you're
I
out.
need an address for a property developer.
And
Elysian
then
Fields
everyone
Developments.
would like laugh at you. It was very fun. Papa One says John Gotti used to wear Brioni suits as well. Yeah, see? Very New York, very East Coast.
Messages.
And you would expect that of him. I bet Tony Soprano wore Brioni suits.
Thanks. Can you put me through, operator?
Of course. Here you are.
Yeah, and you know the fit, the feel.
Amanda?
I'm very pleased with
We're about to go
with
and
how
visit
I look
Elysian
in this.
Fields Developments.
You know, it's it makes a difference, I think.
He's a personal friend of the mayor and the chief. Are you out of your mind? I'm warning you, Phelps.
Commander, we have a line of inquiry.
You have something, you bring it to me. You're hanging by a thread, Phelps. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Good. Have a report on my desk today.
Kelty has warned us off over Elysian.
Mama One, you never answered. Have you seen a movie called Smile Part 2?
We should check out Rancho Escondido.
You know the place.
And Papa One says, you kids traded cigarettes for cell phones. You're absolutely right. Although I admit they are a nice invention and have come very far from the original cell phones. Yeah, you have the world in your pocket. All of mankind's knowledge and information. They're so much more addictive than cigarettes, I think. It's crazy, and we all accept it as normal. Mama One says, never seen that movie. Is it any good? I loved it. You know, you saw the Terrifier movies. It's as good as Terrifier. They've made 2 of them so far. I'm going to do a review of it. That's how I watched it twice. It's free on Amazon Prime right now. Yeah, so I'm going to do a review. It's going to be a spoiler review because I want to talk about the ending because it had a wonderful ending, a wonderful twist ending. So you should see it before you watch my video. Mama One says, I will check it out. Yes, you'll enjoy. I know you'll enjoy it. It's great. But it's a little bit confusing at first. You might want to I don't know if you can find Smile Part 1. Basically, it's about a demon that infects your mind, and if you saw It Follows, it's kind of like It Follows, except it's a demon that makes everyone around you smile evilly.
Tell you again, sir.
And
Don't tell me when and how I can come and go on my own property.
It is not
This is
safe,
America,
sir.
dickhead.
Now step back.
Yeah, it's a lot like It Follows.
Son of a bitch.
And also, it reminded me of a lot about of like old Japanese J-horror, you know, like The Grudge and The Ring. Cole's doing a little shadow boxing. Yeah, I'm still watching Reacher. I decided to watch season 1 again because we ran out of we're all caught up on Reacher season 3. We've got 4 more episodes, but they're not out until next Thursday, I believe.
Okay, then. Let's see if there's
Super annoying. And I needed more Reacher. So I watched season 1 pretty much all of today. And his physique's different in season 1. I think that, you know, the seasons are like 2 or 3 years apart, but he's a lot thicker and broader in season 3 than he is in season 1. Honestly, I think he looks better in season 1. Papa One says the good old days when police issued police brutality without it being a crisis. Well, they wanted to keep in charge of in control of the streets. They were the thin blue line. You were allowed to have a blackjack. Papa asks, Serena, how have you been, by the way?
You'd expect some shrinkage in the heat, but it looks like the cement barely adhered to the brick. Doesn't appear to be any wall ties either. This thing looks like it was built on the cheap. If we're paying a visit to Elysian and ruining my career, let's bite the bullet and get on with it.
And what happened to our vehicle? Serena says, I'm okay, just still not feeling good. How are you? I like that shade of green. It's not really a mint green. Papa One says, I'm doing well. We almost have our kitchen finished, so my wife is ecstatic. Happy wife means a happy life, which Papa One knows quite well. Pardon me, LAPD coming through, sir.
Brother!
I like your car.
Any available unit, meet the officer. 211 just occurred at 253 Main Street. Unit to handle code 2. Identify.
Serena says, that's nice. A new kitchen. You know what would be fun to watch again is Who Framed Roger Rabbit, because it's around this same time period.
Cut it out!
Elysian Fields.
Detectives Phelps and Biggs, LAPD, to see Leland Monroe.
Do you have an appointment?
We're the police, lady. You don't need
And
an
when you
appointment.
think of mid-century modern,
It's an official
you think of the
investigation.
interior of this office,
There are two police
John Noble's
officers here
office,
to
the
see Mr.
desks,
Monroe.
the furniture, the architecture especially. We're coming up
That's
on
our
some
cue.
cantilevered steps.
Thanks, ma'am.
See how the steps appear to float because they've got that center column.
May I
That's
help
very
you, gentlemen?
We would like to speak to Mr. Monroe.
That's
I'm
very
afraid it's
evocative of the
impossible.
time period.
Mr. Monroe's
She's smoking,
schedule is booked weeks in advance.
Cut to the chase, sister. Is he in?
enjoying a nice cigarette
I'm not
at
at
work.
liberty to reveal that, officer.
So he hired you for your intelligence?
I find that offensive.
And then
Have every right.
you meet John
Getting
Noble,
us nowhere, miss.
who's basically, he has an Australian accent,
Would you like us to
Star
return
Hearts,
with a
but
warrant?
he's doing his
That
Walter
won't be
Bishop
necessary,
voice.
gentlemen. Come into my office.
I knew it immediately. And I don't know if you watched Fringe,
Like a
Serena,
cigar.
but I love it.
Drink
Fringe
for me,
actually has
sir.
two Aussies in it, as has
Biggs.
Anna Torv. She's an Australian lass. And John Noble. They both play Americans. What's that about? Anna Torv is an FBI agent. I don't know if we would let
We're
your
investigating a
people
series of
be an
domestic
FBI
fires,
agent.
Mr. Monroe.
It's terrible, boys. How can I help?
Anyways. So you should watch Fringe if you can.
Elysian
I
Fields
think
and
you'd
suburban
enjoy it. It's like the
redevelopment
X-Files,
fires keep
except
turning up in the vicinity of the fires.
updated.
up all
And
over town,
I think
boys.
Fringe actually has a
Imagine the
tighter
current
story
demand for
than
housing.
the
So
X-Files.
that's your
The
explanation,
X-Files
Mr. Monroe?
kind of went off the
Coincidence?
rails.
Explanation? Why, what's to explain?
I advertise on radio.
Papa One
and
says, yes, I'm
billboards,
happy. It's
buyers,
about
and
time. We haven't
advertising
remodeled much
sellers use
since the
waiver.
early 90s. And Mama One says, Cole Phelps is more dangerous when he drives. More dangerous than the criminals
We
he's
found
after.
A family burnt out in their home. Another house burned to the ground. Another Elysian fields
You're a
fire.
menace,
Our
Cole
information
Phelps.
is that they
Yeah,
didn't
he
want
is.
to sell.
I
Are you saying that's
apologize for
something to do
that.
with me? Is that your point?
You can talk to our driving
Every time we
consultant
find a family barbecue, we find one of your flyers.
who learned to drive upside down. Serena says, I agree with you, Mama, about Cole Phelps.
What do you know about a competition
LOL.
for families to win free vacations
And it
to
looks
Catalina
like
Island?
John Noble has a Mondrian
He runs many promotions.
on his wall. Probably not an original. Well, he's rich enough to have an original. But
Level with me, Mr.
Mondrians were actually,
You know
that's
all
more of
about
a,
vacation offers.
that geometric painting in the
You can
background
believe
behind
whatever
Cole.
you like, son. You're
He
missing
was in the
vital
20s.
ingredient called proof.
The 1920s. Piet Mondrian.
Your face is all over the flyer.
I assume
Mr.
Piet
Monroe.
is,
You know about
that's
the prizes,
Peter
and
or
you're aware that they
Pietro.
get given to holdouts.
My face is the brand. It's on all our advertising.
And Leyland has a gold
Did you know
tie
that the
clip,
mayor and the chief of police,
but note
part
his
of the Suburban
suspenders have
Redevelopment Fund?
silver
You want to accuse them of murder as
clasps. You would think that they would be gold as well. You always want to match your tie clip to your watch.
Where fires have been recorded.
well? Are you suggesting that I'm burning people?
Mom once says, I can see why you don't have a car, Super Antonio. The Saint Denis police insist that you don't drive. Yeah, I regret that.
We work around them.
Yeah.
That's the American way.
Yeah, I just take Ubers.
Come on, Mr. Monroe. You expect me to believe
I
that
did
you
have a
would build
car
new
though when I
development
was
with one of those old
you know,
piles
I had
smack
my
bang in the
father's
center
car
of it.
when I was
Progress
living
is
at
an inexorable
my
process,
family's house,
detective.
and we were remodeling.
Those who
So,
choose to stand
Sadie,
in
for like the
defiance,
first
they
6
usually
months of her
confined
life,
to the
we used to
waste
take
basket of
drives.
history.
Had a big old Mercedes. I don't know
Fancy
the
your
year.
question?
It was like
Yes, we would build around them if we had to.
I'm going to say 2010-ish
Most people see
maybe. Thing drove like
What's
a
Elysian
tank. It
Fields'
felt like it
involvement in
weighed
Rancho Escondido?
10,000 pounds.
Well,
Four-door.
our latest housing development.
I don't remember. I don't
It was
recall
due
the
to open
model,
on the weekend,
but
or was before the unfortunate
and Sadie used to
conflagration.
enjoy riding
Met
around
with
in it.
building
I'd
code
let her sit
regulations.
beside me,
Absolutely.
shotgun, and she'd just look out the
Only
window.
the best for our returning
And,
heroes.
And my sister would get mad because apparently dogs and kids are supposed to ride in the back. What's the fun of that?
Something out of kilter about that development.
Son, I've had enough of you and your fidgety friend. There's no way in hell you can prove that my materials were inferior.
But yeah, I didn't really see a need for
I'm no
for a
expert,
vehicle.
but I think we'll
Everything's
find that
within
the bricks
walking
being used in those
distance,
houses are
or I can
undersized
just order it from
and mortar's
Amazon, or I can
And
just
there's
take an
no
Uber.
wall ties connecting the masonry to the frame.
And you can
Every
take dogs in
building is
Uber.
built
I
for
haven't really
budget
done that.
boys. Those
You can like
buildings
specify a
inspected
pet-friendly
and
Uber.
Fully insured by California Fire and Life.
Papa one says Mercedes are beautiful. Your dad had
Measurement of
great
that magnitude
taste. Mine
demands.
preferred trucks, specifically older trucks. Although he loved the newer Super Duty trucks that we used to haul horses. Yeah, my dad loved Mercedes. He loved German engineering. He was an engineer. He had Mercedes. Most of most of our family cars were Mercedes, and then
Glad to hear it.
and then he got my mom a
Always
Porsche
happy to help the
911
LAPD.
when
My
I was in
secretary will
college.
provide you with
And so
that
she
list.
drove around in that, but it was like kind of that.
Board of the police
It was her car, but it was my dad's car, and my dad always liked. It's like, but yeah, you always like
Plenty
just
of help,
giant
officers.
Mercedes, and I was going to say something about the Chancellor of Germany at the time, but
Find the phone. We need to know where we're at with Chapman.
anyways, yeah. So he loved BMWs, not so much. He stayed loyal to his to the Führer.
Your boss is a fine man.
You're the reason brothers and sisters should marry.
Then, speaking of the bad guys of World War II, I had an uncle.
Badge 1247.
Well, I still have him. He's still alive. Who collected. He was in the military.
Check whether we are still holding
retired.
Herbert Chapman.
And he collected memorabilia from World War II. And that was the first time I actually held a Luger.
Can you give me a last known address?
I don't know if you can say that, but yeah, it was cool. You know, it's like he had an officer's Luger with the insignia and everything on it. It was just, you know, and he was disassembling and cleaning it while I was talking to him, and so he let me hold it. I was I believe 12-ish at the time. It was pretty cool, but it did feel like holding death. And even then, as a young lad, I understood the historical implications of it. And it was weird. I remember I've always described it as it felt like I was holding a piece of death. And you know, because you can only imagine what had been done in the name of
not even for old time's
that
sake. Not even for that.
That eagle and the insignia
ask me why I'm
underneath
here?
it.
I wouldn't give
But
you
yeah,
the
it was a
pleasure.
pretty cool. I wish I had
Get
it.
around
I wonder what happened to it. I wonder. He probably still has it.
She's in fine voice this evening.
Though he prefers
I wonder how the commander would feel about
Czechoslovakian
breaking my heart, Cole.
shooty
You know
bangs
how
now.
I feel about you.
I believe that's
Stay away from
no, I think it's
Elysian
an Austrian
fields.
company.
I should have known that you were playing errand boy.
You and your doofus partner. You have been warned.
Thanks for your
Yeah,
cooperation.
he prefers Austrian as a daily carry.
Stay away. You have no idea.
Austrian rhymes with block.
I have a pretty good idea, Roy.
17.
Same kind of people that sent you here.
Your investigation is finished.
Papa one says, if you don't mind me asking, was your dad a military vet? He was not, but grandfathers on both sides were, and he had a lot of
Thanks
brothers.
for the drink, Cole.
Most of them served, and then on both sides. So it's in my blood. And then I got cousins. I've got cousins who went to West Point, and
Carl delivered it. You?
and Air Force Academy.
Making noises about my pension.
Pretty much, we've been involved in every conflict.
Sorry about that.
Our family has been involved in every conflict since the Spanish-American War, and
So was McKelty when
on
it's all
both sides. What's that about? Also, if we count in-laws, we can. We've been involved since the Civil War.
11K, go
We've
ahead.
served in every conflict, and I'm quite proud of that.
Roger that, KGPL. 11K en route.
Papa One says, my dad left me several Lugers and Walthers as he took off several Germans. We have 3 that I know of.
But I don't like to talk
And I
about it.
bought a Walther PPK a few years ago back that belonged to a Panzer crewman. Cool.
Oh, for God's sakes.
Walther PPK, James Bond's gun. Oh, James Bond's shooty gang, shooty bang, sorry, algorithm. But, you know, Eleanor streams get automatically demonetized.
Jack spoken to you about his
I contest it
experiences
every
on
time.
Sugarloaf?
Sometimes they'll let it
Or
back
the
up.
rest of the campaign?
Sometimes they don't. I mean, sometimes they remonetize. You're allowed to, you know, you're allowed to
Jack keeps
run it
stoned
on their
just like you
platform.
do. I know what it feels like to get back from
What was I going to say?
You gotta respect that.
Yeah, I don't know what he uses now. But, you know, the traditional, like, mid-century Sean Connery, James Bond, who was a Walther PPK. And also in Ian Fleming. He's the author of James Bond. I read all of those James Bond books just to see what the big deal was. And it's quite a good read. I would recommend all of Ian Fleming's books. Let's put it that way. They go fast. It's just, you know, it's just pulp fiction, but it's British. So, you know, it's a little more literary.
Take it easy, Phelps. I'd rather get there in one piece.
I got my green tea.
Come on!
Mama One says, I love the Sir Roger Moore Bond movies. Live and Let Die, one of the greatest Bond theme songs ever in the history of James Bond. Let's see, The Man with the Golden Gun. That's a great one, too. Roger Moore. What's that? A View to a Kill. That's peak 80s. I believe that was Roger Moore's last performance as James Bond. I know my dad loved James Bond, and so I grew up watching all the James Bonds, and I have like the Blu-ray set up to Casino Royale.
Looking for Herbert Chapman.
Daniel Craig's Casino Royale. I've got this big giant box Blu-ray set. Very happy, and it's like it's very sentimental for me. It reminds me of my dad. And yeah, so I love James Bond, and I think my favorite will probably be Sean Connery. I like his accent. I like, I like that little sardonic smile he does. Maz Kill. Slow
Motive,
burning.
Opportunity, and hard evidence.
Motive, opportunity, and hard evidence.
We should revise the APB.
Papa One says, Roger Moore is the best Bond, although my favorite movie of Roger Moore is Wild Geese with Richard Burton, Hardy Kruger, and Richard Harris, as well, about mercenaries trying to rescue a deposed African president. That sounds like it's exactly up your alley, Papa One. And there's a movie with Richard Burton called Where Eagles Dare. It was another favorite movie of my father's. That I have. Well, actually, I have his copy on DVD. That Richard Burton and Clint Eastwood, and that's in WW2.
You must have caught the trolley. We got to move fast, Cole.
Highly recommend it. It's got a great theme song, wonderful story, lots of action.
Calling KGPL.
That was a spectacular crash.
11K requesting assistance.
Missed.
In pursuit of suspect aboard the 1110 University streetcar. Currently heading east on Melrose
But
Avenue.
I'm afraid,
Advise
Papa One,
all
the next
units.
movie that you will
Suspect is in
probably
control of car
be
and
watching
driving
is Smile
dangerously.
2. But after that, tell Mama when you want to see Where Eagles Dare. And you should be watching Reacher Season 3.
Stay on his ass, Cole. Don't lose him. Look, Cole, the side plate's gone. Get me closer. I think I got a shot here.
Papa One says they did a Wild Geese sequel, which they were going to have Roger Moore and Richard Burton return as their characters, but Richard Burton died a few months before filming, and Roger Moore backed out.
Prick. Come on, Cole.
Pow! Papa One says, I haven't seen Where Eagles Dare in 20 years. Haha. Yeah, I'm glad you know the movie.
Seemed to have his own agenda. There seems to be more to this than a personal vendetta.
I try to watch it once a year around Christmas time because, again, it reminds me of my old man. And it's a super cool movie.
You have a point. The evidence is good for Chapman. It's hard to be worrying about his side of the story when he's blasting away with that big 45.
Though I don't think I watched it this year. Or last year, rather.
Nice work, gentlemen. Put yourself at considerable risk stopping that trolley and probably saved a lot of lives. Anyone else but you, Phelps, and you'd be up for a bravery award. We've had our eyes on that slippery son of a bitch Chapman for as long as I can remember. I couldn't be happier than to wipe him off the scoreboard. I hope this puts to bed that crazy stuff you had going about Leland Monroe. What were you thinking, Phelps?
It's raining in
Calling
Los
Richard
Angeles.
Nixon a crook
Cola
next.
King. Too bad we can't have a Cola King. Did Cole take Ilsa back to his apartment, or is that Ilsa's apartment?
A letter from Lou.
I would
His insurance
assume Cole's living in some Fleabag hotel since his wife kicked him out.
California Fire and Life.
So it's got to be Ilsa's.
The roof that he was working on collapsed.
It's a very generous settlement. Elsa, I'd like you to do something for me. I think there's something dirty about Elysian Fields.
What has that got to do with Lou?
Mama one says that Richard Nixon quote makes me
Go
laugh.
and see an investigator named Jack Kelso.
Yeah, we talked about him
Ask him
earlier
to
in the
make some
stream
inquiries
when I was
about
reading
Lou's
off the
case.
trivia. I didn't realize he was
Isn't
from
this
California,
police work?
though I
find out
don't
what
know
happened.
why I didn't know that. I should have known
Why
that.
would he help this?
Well, I know it now.
Jack won't be able to help himself if he smells a rat.
He is a friend of yours?
He hates my guts. Elsa, you could take this money and let them get away with it, or we could get Jack's help and do something about it.
Why not be honest with this man, Cole? He deserves your honesty if you want his help.
Believe me, Elsa, I'd like to level with him. I really would, but it's too late. Years too late.
And that, my friends, was a walk in Elysian Fields. What's the city damage? $517. You could have done better, but we did get a distinguished case closed. Shout out to the channel members.
Get back in there and raise
And
some
shout out
lunch,
to the
boy.
mods.
I need a confession.
Mama 1 and Papa 1. Serena, so glad you're here. Miko, I hope you watch this on the rewatch. Missed you, friend. Yeah, we're going to do a Smile Part 2 review. And what else am I working on? Doing a video on the Cattleman, but I haven't figured out the format. I'll leave the chat on for a while so you guys can talk amongst yourselves. What else? Last of Us Part 1 is coming, and Sleeping Dogs. But tomorrow, or like next week, we shall be doing The Gasman, which is actually the first case that we should have. This is the second case, so we have to do backwards and go forwards. Serena, you're an awesome stream, as always. And Mama One says, are we getting a Smile Sinister Sunday? I was thinking of that, Mama One, but I think we're just going to do a traditional video. But maybe we'll do both. What's that about? At any rate, I appreciate all of you friends. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you soon.
My father was in shipping. Went to college at Stanford. Did 2 years ROTC before Marine OCS at Camp Elliott. Shipped out in early '45 as a first lieutenant and fought in the Okinawa campaign. I was wounded, shipped back home. Did a year on the beat. Now I'm here.
So you won the Silver Star.
I don't want to talk about it.
Now let me get this straight. You single-handedly killed 40 Japs on this hill in Okinawa.
No.
You were up there all night, draped in the flag, knife between your teeth, gun at the ready.
Finished?
The Emperor Hirohito himself leading the charge against you.
I did my part, Bukowski. What did you do?
I kept the streets of LA safe for the people.
Yeah. Now I get it. Unfit for service.
Fuck you, Phelps. I earned a bravery citation during the Zuda riots.
Sounds like you had it rough.
I did my job.
No one is saying you didn't.
I did 6 years as a patrolman.
That's the third time you've told me.
Are you blind?
All units, a 459 just occurred at 6th and Saris. Any unit to handle, code 2, identified.
11 King, go ahead, KGPL.
11K, a 459 suspect just left 6th and Saris. Suspect is a male.
He's so obsessed with bedside manner.
Are you blind?
Now that wasn't so hard, was it? Just because we're in uniform doesn't mean we can't use our initiative.
I guess so. Seems a little too good to be true. One-of-a-kind murder weapon bought locally using a real name? If Schroeder's our shooter, he's no criminal mastermind.
Most of them aren't. That's why they get caught. 2 out of every 3 crimes are done on impulse.
Another fact from the Phelps Encyclopedia of Thin Air. You really are full of it.
What are you doing to this car?
It's all right.